So I know a lot of people, they love the idea of regenerative ag, but there's a lot of people that have questions about it and if it can feed all of us. Like I know this is a topic that you've talked with countless people, even on the Joe Rogan show,
Right.
about if this practice can actually feed us all. So what are your thoughts on that?
Sure. So, can this feed us all? So, not only can it feed us all, it's the only system that ultimately can.
Mm.
And so, let's drill down on that a little bit. First of all, realize that for the first time in human history, the world is throwing away 40% of its human edible food. We've never had this level of waste before. Why do we have this level of waste? Well, because we have extremely long supply chains, long warehouse stays. We have spoil dates. We have spoilage. We have tractor trailer loads of milk being dumped because somebody didn't wash their antibiotics right. I mean, there's a million million leaks within the system. I mean, I was talking to a guy. He was in Zimbabwe, and a green bean processor shipping green beans to Europe to someplace in Europe. And he said, "Yeah, we're shipping 2 tons a day, and we're throwing away 2 tons." I said, "Throwing away 2 tons of green beans? Why are you throwing away?" Well, they're crooked, they're too fat, they're too thin, they're too long, too short. They got to fit the box, and throwing them away. And so that's the kind of thing that happens, all over the world right now, because things are so centralized uh, uh, and long, long chains between the farm and the consumer. So the world right now, we could increase the world's population by 40% right now and still have plenty of food if we went to a less wasteful system. So that's number one. Number two is that that biology. I mean, I can tell you on our farm, we are far more productive per acre. We get about 4 times the production per acre that the county average is,
Mm.
because we're doing this mob stocking, herbivorous, solar conversion, lignified carbon sequestration, fertilization. We're moving the animals around all the time, and we're stacking. So the pasture is not just for cat. So not only are we getting a lot more production on the herbivore, but then we're stacking turkeys, laying chickens, broiler chickens, sheep, ducks on that same acreage.
Mhm.
Permaculture, you start stacking all that on the same acreage. I mean, not on the same square foot on the same day, but staggered, and you're generating multiple enterprises on that. Then you add in the ability to irrigate in a drought. Now you can hold your production through the hot time. That's a game changer as well. And so the thing that people need to understand is that the biological or regenerative understanding is essentially depending on a carbon economy.
Mm.
So the difference is life fundamentally chemical or mechanical, or is life fundamentally biological? And those are the two kind of competing schools of thought. And the mechanical really only came into use in 1837, when Justus von Liebig, the Austrian biochemist, using his vacuum tubes, told the world that all of life is just a reconfiguration of nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. That was the first time on a grand scale that people actually started viewing life as actually inanimate, or just protoplasmic structure without some sort of life mystery, something that's special about life, whether it's an actinomycetes in the soil, or a person. And that permeated through, well, World War I, World War II. NPK, nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus, are the basis for explosives, for bombs, ammunition. And so the two world wars financed the mining, manufacture, distribution, bagging, and branding and marketing of NPK. So you come to the end of World War II, and you've got this farmer, he's expecting his sons to come back from the war. Well, one of them is killed and one of them is maimed, and all he's done all of his life is shovel, 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 shovel. He doesn't have a front end loader. He doesn't have a chainsaw. Doesn't have a chipper. He doesn't have a way to feed the soil carbon, to actually have a carbon economy. And so he's going to grab that bag of 10, 10, 10 cheap. It's available when it comes. Now, in 1943, Sir Albert Howard brought to the world the scientific recipe for aerobic compost in his book, An Agricultural Testament, 1943. But to do that efficiently, we needed chainsaws, chippers, front-end loaders, PTO-powered manure spreaders. We needed all that stuff. And it took about 20 years from 1943 for that kind of infrastructure to develop. Well, in those 20 years, the mechanical chemical approach dominated our land-grant universities, the U.S. The food system. And so it was like after World War II, there was a starting gun on a race went off, but the chemical folks had a one lap head start, and it took a while for biology to come up. Now biology is spinning circles around chemicals, but chemical is so entrenched that the assumption is we can't do it without these chemicals. The truth is, I'll close with this idea. The truth is that if we had had a Manhattan Project for compost, not only would we have fed the world, we would have done it without three-legged salamanders, infertile frogs, and a dead zone the size of Rhode Island in the Gulf of Mexico.